What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar with C-Zar Gets Crypto, and we are talking about 11 different altcoins tonight. I am going to go through right now and just say them, like list them in the order that I will be talking about them in this video, but I will go through and put timestamps in as well. If you don't see them, it's because you're watching this video very relatively like shortly after it's been published. I'm going to publish it first, and then I'll go through and enter the timestamps afterwards. But anyways, without any further ado, we are doing VAI, obviously this first one here, for the Unleavened Baptist and a Lion Free Nase. We'll be doing ETC for Franks, CLV Clover Finance for Peter Davies, GROK for user D5 B6P, ZCSH for Silent Investor, MINA for Peter Davies and for Hoshi. We'll be talking about ELON, Dogelon Mars, I think, but ELON for Mike Ike, CRU for Bartman, BLZ for J-Boy Smith, RLC for Jeffrey O, and finishing it all up with Shiba Inu for Apache Garage and Jordan Garibe. That's the list. That's the order it's going in. I'm not going to repeat it because that's a lot to go over, but I will leave it in the timestamp. So without any further ado, let's get into it here. If anybody has any requests, anything that they want to leave in the comments, feel free to do so. I will leave a link to the Discord in the description. You can leave requests there as well. We have a request page. So without any further ado, let's get into this. Let's do some TA. So looking at this here, VAI, very nice, very bullish on the RSI. You are getting up there a little bit, but you can grow more. You absolutely can. Getting overbought like this, bouncing off the overbought zone, and then coming up, man, I can't talk. It is a very positive look indeed. Breaking above the green line, even like this, the 123 moving average is pretty nice as well. Top to bottom here. Broke through the 618, finding a little bit of resistance at the 886. If you break through, if you can close a week or a day above 21.9 cents, I think that would be very beneficial to seeing prices up at the next level, which would be about 45 cents to 85.7 cents. And that would make sense too, because looking at this previous kind of topping zone here that comes right around your golden extension zone, the 1272, you can see the dash line going back. It's in that support area. So that would make sense. That would make sense to me. But it wouldn't be crazy either from here to come back down, find support in this area, and then move up. But you absolutely could continue to move up. You've got the right RSI look for that for sure. Let's see what the daily's saying. The daily does have bearish divergence. You didn't get a lot of follow-through volume with this move. I would say you probably turn around. You probably do. Yeah, you probably come down a little bit in the more immediate term. Low to high here, yeah, you might see prices below 16 cents even. I would at least think below 16.5 cents is where you would probably see a bounce. Maybe at this 382, maybe all the way back at the 61869 previous area of resistance as well. So you could see a drop all the way to 13 cents, but I would think at least below 16.5 cents. And then from there, resume that move upwards into that 20 to 40 cent, whatever zone that was. On your extensions here. Oh no, I'm sorry, 44 to 84, not 20 to 40, it's 40 to 80, yeah. After you move down, probably around 13 cents, if not 16.5 cents, somewhere in that range. So that's VAI. Hopefully that suffices. Moving on from there, we're going to be talking about ETC, Ethereum Classic. Let's do that now. Looking at this on the weekly, very decent looking RSI, kind of a nice looking bottoming pattern accumulation phase here. I feel like you're moving up, consolidating right before the breakout. Like this to me looks like it's ready to break out higher. Now how high will it go when it breaks out? Will it demolish price? Will it just be a little breakout that's like this? Something like that's nothing to be ashamed of. And that something like that right to that green line might be exactly what we see. That's like a 36% move. We could see something like that, maybe even a little bit higher. Let's use some fibs here. I like the RSI. I like the placement of the RSI. Top to bottom here. 618 right there. Literally right there, man, at the green line. Literally 6.9 all the way there at $30.71. So I'd say between about $28 and $31 is your next likely target. Are you moving up immediately? That's the question. You're above your 50, looking like you're holding above your 50 pretty well. You're holding above your 382. Previous area you've kind of found as resistance a couple times. I like it. I do like it. Let's look at the 4 hour. Yeah, I think it looks good, honestly. Assuming that you don't close, you've got an hour and 30 minutes left, so you tell me whenever you see this video, most of you. Assuming you don't close too much lower than this, as long as you're closing above this yellow line here, it would be really, it'd be more ideal to be closing above this, but as you can see, you can close below, and then as long as you get back up there pretty quickly, it's not a big deal. Overall, yeah, just I suppose closing above this yellow line, the 382 would be more beneficial than closing below it. But you do at the moment have lower lows in the RSI, higher lows in price. That is nice for continuation. You're above the green line, looking like you're holding well above it. So I do think you want to go higher. If you go lower, it probably won't be by much. You're at about 20.87 right now. Maybe you move down $1. At the most, like $1 from here, but maybe you don't. You really might start moving up again. So I like it. I like the daily RSI. I like the 4 hour. 1 hour even looks like it suffices for a low, and the weekly too. So yeah, I think it's going up. I think it's going up. That's all I got to say for ETC. If it goes lower, just a little bit, it might be boring until it moves up, but I think it's probably near an exciting point, honestly. CLV. USD, Clover Finance, there it is. Let's look at this on the weekly. All it's done in its history has gone down. It's just gone down, and that's okay. Whenever it came out was 2021, end of the bull market. It's literally only existed in a bear market. Some of the harshest conditions for cryptocurrencies out there, right? So it's yet to have its bull market. You're getting a lot of volume in this move up kind of coming through. There's hope. There's potential for this thing for sure. I don't know a lot about it, so don't mind me if I'm wrong about this thing, but you are showing some of the strongest ratings you've ever shown, which in a chart that hasn't existed that long, that's not saying too much. But you are in relative areas where it would make sense to see some pretty dramatic upside. Let's see real quick. Yeah, I thought so. You've kind of got, I want to look at it on the daily. I don't know. I like this formation in the bottoming. I don't know if that's a pattern at all, but it's almost like an atom with the plateau and then an eve, but it looks good. Looks like you respect this green line too. Tipping off it here for support. Disrespected it a little bit here, but even here, but tipped it, resistance, broke above it, found it as support. Now you're moving up. Daily RSI looks really strong as well. I think this thing wants to, man, the volume, everything, it looks like it wants to keep moving up. If it moves down, you probably won't be down for long, but it'll probably be in this like trajectory, whichever one of those lines or none of those lines, but you can kind of see this like soft curve up you're having. I doubt you would go like below this low here, right? Like I doubt you'd go below 5.45 cents, something like that. But you could move a little bit lower from here. It doesn't seem too much, right? Like talking about moving a cent down, but that you're at 6.86 right now. Moving down to 5.86, like 1 whole cent, would be more than 15% of a loss. So that very much is at play. And I mean, truthfully, you could even drop lower than that and still be fine. But I think you want more immediate continuation upwards. But let's look at the 4 hour real quick. The 4 hour and the daily look really strong, so I'm not gonna second guess it. Until I see otherwise, until proven wrong or proven otherwise, I'm gonna say you hold above this level here. Maybe you wick below it, but you close above it. If you get a close below that level, then we could talk about you going lower. But I think you're probably just beginning. You're probably just beginning, honestly. But we'll see. Where would you go if you are just beginning? Yeah, look at that. You're not even above your 236. Very much just beginning. You're going to go to 16.5 cents. in a very short amount of time. Previous area of resistance throughout this like kind of whole consolidation phase, right? That was like your highest form of resistance was right here. So you probably go right to around 16.5 to 17 cents, and then consolidate between there and 8.5 cents. But that's really all I got to say about this thing. If it goes down, it won't be by much, and it'll go up a lot more than what it's at right now, probably in a very short amount of time. Maybe not in a week, maybe not even in a month, but you know, before the halving, I would expect so. Yeah, let's move on from there. We're going on to GROK. Can I do GROK? I think GROK on this, man, Jesus coin took a dump, you guys. Good opportunity to buy if you're looking to buy. Or maybe it's a good opportunity to wait and buy more in a couple weeks whenever it's even lower. But let's see here. GROK, would this be the one to use? Maybe. I don't know. Let's go for it. I think this is it. Yeah. This looks familiar. Hasn't been around too long. Is it? I feel like it's been around longer than that, though, hasn't it? Let's see. There's baby GROK, there's GROK, of course there's baby GROK, man. It's been around for, okay, since November. So this is accurate. Okay, this is GROK. I think this is my second time charting it, so don't mind me. The daily RSI, as far as I'm concerned, it's not too negative, but it's not positive. I would think that this would imply you want to go lower, right? If you were to see a positive reaction from these levels, I think you would have gotten it already. You're just kind of like moving down, consolidating, moving down, like you're doing it very slow. And whenever you see things like this, like you take the elevator up and you take the stairs down. You know, I feel like whenever I first got in this space, I always heard that you take the stairs up and then the elevator down, but I feel like it's the other way around, right? Like you get these really like short, fantastic rallies and then these long, dragged out, methodical, volatile, boring, just sideways moving downward consolidation phases. I don't know if that made sense, but you know, up quick, down slow. That's all I'm trying to say. So this could continue to move down is really what I'm trying to get to here. So looking at the 4 hour, yeah, week, I think it wants lower. I think it does want lower. Where does it want to go? Let's see. And I think you will go below this low. I genuinely do. Look at that, man. You're finding resistance right on your 6182. Is this accurate? Yeah. Broke through it on your first attempt finding resistance. I very much believe GROK is going to see prices between these ranges here, if not lower, but at least 20s, 2293, and then the maximum kind of expectation would be 2011. In that range, somewhere in here, X marks the spot. It's probably going to go down, and it's going to take a while, right? At this rate, you could go down, and I say a while, this would be at the end of January. That's really not too far away, but I bet, and that's not a straight line, but you see what I'm trying to go for, right? I bet you just kind of grind this out. You might have moments where you break below this, and then you move sideways and come back into it. There's like false, whatever the opposite of hope is, and then false hope, and then really it's just you're moving down this little trend until you probably hit this box again sometime, I would think, toward the end of January. So down for GROK is what I got. It looks sad. It looks, you know, but it's new. It's new. So with that, anything can happen, but I think it's going down. Let's move on from there. ZCSH. Is that Zcash? No. Oh, it is, but on the grayscale chest. Okay, now see, I thought this was a crypto. I would have done this. And you know what? I think, silent investor, if you've made it this far, man, I am going to do this. I'm going to do another video for grayscale trusts specifically, so I'm not going to do this one here. We're going to move on. Sorry if I got your hopes up, but there will be another video posted tonight with that on there and a list of other grayscale trusts. So check that one out, guys. If you like the video so far, hit that like button, subscribe. If you want to see more content from me, we're moving on from ZCSH to MINA. MINA, M-I-N-A. Never heard of this, but I have 2 requests on that from Peter Davies and Hoshi. So I've never heard of this tonight, but you guys want it. We're going to do it. Let's see. Okay, it's been around a little bit. It's been around. I've never heard of it though, huh? Oh, 21. It's still pretty new. Okay, we'll use Kraken. Yeah, more historical data than Coinbase. So, I mean, I feel like the whole chart of this thing was essentially like a descending wedge, right? And then you're breaking out. Like it kind of looks like that, like on a grand basis here. You came out toward the end of the bull market, right, in the midst of the bear market. Not friendly times at all to be in. Let's see how you respect your fibs. Bottom to top. Found support on the 1272. Found support on the 1414. Yeah, I've seen a few of these cryptos. It's not super common, but I've noticed it a few times because it's weird to me. But their first like all-time low is right below the 1414. It doesn't hit the 1618, but it's like it goes right below the 141. I've just noticed that. There's nothing to that. That's not a secret. That's just an observation I've made. You know, maybe it happens more often. Just because something goes right below the 1414 does not mean that it's a good time to buy, though sometimes it is. But there's nothing to that. That's just an observation I've made. Being back above the 886 is nice. Just kind of further confirming the idea. And look at, man, that's a really strong weekly RSI too. Decent volume, yeah. Looking good, I gotta say. Top to bottom here. Broke above your 382, previous resistance here. Yeah, it looks like it's getting ready, man. I think this is just the beginning. Now, what you can see with the breakout, what's fairly common, is you can just kind of consolidate, right? You can kind of consolidate here and then break out higher. And maybe it takes this long, maybe it takes longer, maybe it's half that amount of time. You know, maybe it's only like this much, but probably consolidate for a few weeks, maybe a few months, maybe a couple months. Is what I'd be getting from this. Though you are overbought on your weekly, you do have the potential to continue. You might not be at your top. The consolidating would be assuming you found a momentary high. And being at a previous area of resistance, being at a previous area of support, it would kind of make sense to find some turbulence, aka consolidate around here. But let's look at the daily. I like the daily RSI. I like the volume. You really could continue to build higher. Genuinely speaking here, I don't mind the 4 hour. It looks fine, looks friendly. If you were to reset from here, maybe you go to about 95 cents. You're at $1.11. You very well could go to about 95, maybe even 85 cents, somewhere in that range, and then turn around and keep building up. I would say to kind of negate the idea that you're going to consolidate for at least a month or longer, don't close a day below this price. Don't get back under where you broke out from. So maintain prices above that. As long as you're doing that, then that's fine. You really could just do something like this where you come down and then boom, bounce off, you know. Or maybe you will consolidate for a little while, you know, something like that. But I think that this could be a lot worse if you close below that. So anyways, probably down in the more immediate term is what I'm trying to say. Overall, I like the structure. I think you're in buy the dip territory for sure. I like this kind of bottom right here. But you're probably going, after going down, you're probably going to see prices at this $1.73 to $2.70 range, somewhere in there, potentially even higher. But that's what I think, and probably in a very short amount of time, honestly. Like before the halving is what I mean by it. Before the halving is still 4 months away, so that might seem like a long time to some people, but understand, to me, a short amount of time is anything that's less than 6 months. A moderate amount of time would be 6 months to like a year and a half maybe, and then a long amount of time, we're talking like multiple years, right? That's kind of how I gauge it, and I try to be specific whenever I talk about stuff like that. But sometimes I say short amount of time. If I say immediate is way faster than short. Like short means within like 6 months, right? Generally 2 months to 4 months, something like that, but within 6 months. Or even shorter than that, but immediate is like next couple weeks, this week, today, next couple weeks. If I really feel confident on something that's going to happen today, I'll just say today. But getting my terminology aside, that's MINA. I think it comes down a little bit from here and continues to push higher. The lowest I would give it would be about 90 cents, probably around there. it might only go to $1.06, $1.07, bounce off this 886 and continue to push higher too. But I do think, momentarily speaking, it's going to go a little bit lower. So if I was trying to get in on this thing, I'd probably just, I wouldn't mess around with it. I'd probably just get in now, or maybe at least wait to that 886, which is at about $1.07. But you're at $1.12 right now. Does it make that much of a difference? I don't know. The possibility of it going to 90 cents is there. It's definitely there, but I don't know, man. You don't have to go back down there, and you do. I very much do think you have a strong likelihood of going to this area. So, if this is something you want to get in, I would say it's got the green light to buy, but not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I do believe it's going to go lower. With that being said, first, but then probably up. Yeah. So, I know at first I was talking about consolidating, but you might not. You might just check back and go, or you might consolidate, but. I'm kind of leaning away from that now. Anyways, that's MINA. Let's go to ELON. ELON. Dogelon Mars, baby. I think on KuCoin's fine. Yeah, this is probably fine. So down, very big run up and then down, like a lot of meme coins out there. They have 1 day of greatness, 1 week of greatness. Okay, in this case, five weeks of greatness, but still, just one shot and then just onslaught to the downside forever, right? Bitcoin has been in an uptrend. I think it was since November of 2022, wasn't it? And I mean, this thing's just been going down. Like, let's look at this. Let's actually compare it real quick to let's do total 3. I mean, yeah. Oh, that's not what I wanted. So you can see which ones, obviously ELON, and then which ones, the faded candles is total 3. So total 3 is it's the combined total of all the crypto market caps in crypto, besides at least like notable market caps, maybe not the ones that nobody has ever heard of, but or that are literally completely irrelevant, that have insignificant market caps, but all the more or less significant market caps, except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, that's what this is. And so basically altcoins have been going up since October, and this thing has really been quite boring, right? Altcoins found their low back in December of last year, and this thing has only proceeded to go lower. So while most altcoins were accumulating for the pop that has ensued since October, this thing has yet to pop. And it might not pop. Showing weakness like this, that's not an advantage. That's not like, oh, it's lagging, I can just buy it now and then catch the pop that I missed on other coins. No, this thing is screaming it's a lost and forgotten project. I wouldn't recommend buying it. Though I would say, first off, I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice, but I would say I do think it goes higher at some point during this market. It could go lower. Like, that's possible too. I don't like the weekly RSI. It doesn't look bad, but it's not good. Daily RSI, I definitely don't like. I think this does look bad. Probably wants to go down to this green line. You're at, what is that, 6 zeros, I think? 6 zeros or 5 zeros. 182 right now. You probably go to 6 zeros, 159 or lower. I think it goes down first, and then maybe it continues to go higher. Maybe. You've been in this downtrend for a while. You look like you could break through it. Let's see. I mean, like, technically you broke through this, I guess, a while ago. What about this? That's probably not anything. That's just 2 touch points, so that doesn't really count. Not really. I don't know. I don't really know what to make of this, man. You look like you're kind of breaking out of this downtrend at the moment, but you're still in a downtrend as long as you haven't taken out these highs. So right now, lower, probably a little bit lower, not like a lower low, but just a little bit lower. And then we could talk about you going up higher. But where are you going to go? You probably go up here. That is 6027 to 60305, somewhere in there. if I really had to guess. And maybe that happens before the halving. Maybe it happens right around the halving. I don't know. But you're slowly marching your way up there. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think you're going to see something like this. Though you could. You never know. Sometimes coins like this do just go up. They scam people into buying. They give them the FOMO. And then it slowly, methodically dumps again. But that's Elon, man. Looks like it wants to go down, then probably up. But I would just stay away personally. Watch it do well. Watch it do phenomenal for 2 or 3 weeks, and then just do terrible for the rest of the time. Unless you're holding it and then planning to sell it when it does have a pump, and you have to sell it. That's the only way that it would make sense to hold it at all, is you have to sell it. Unless you're not prepared for that, like selling it as soon as it pumps, then I would just stay away from this thing, man. CRU, but who am I? Do what you want. We're all big boys, big girls. Talking about this for Bartman, I'm going to use this chart, I think. CoinX, maybe. Maybe we'll use CoinX, okay. So CoinX with a nice bottom. I do like this. I actually really like this formation a lot, especially after just a horrific onslaught to the downside. You had this just flat landing here. Nice double bottom. Really nice. Looking constructive, very strong on the RSI. Above your 618 for at least 1 week now. Not a whole lot of volume, but this is CoinX, so whatever. Yeah, you probably move up to about $4 to $7 at some point here. Like, you haven't broken out yet, man. You're still accumulating. You're still in this grand, you're moving up. Like, you're definitely a lot higher than you were down here, right? You're up like 250 right now, or like 200. But still relatively low. You still haven't broken out of this pattern. I think you do want to go up. It's not like an Adam and Eve, but it is some kind of W, double bottom, right? With this shape, you tend to continue. You get bigger gains as you go up. So almost parabolic like, but it doesn't have to be. It could be like, a breakout move and then consolidation and then more, and then it's like it looks jagged here, but like overall it's like smooth, something like that. But looks like it wants to go up. I like the weekly RSI, I really do. Daily RSI, nice as well, very strong. Yeah, I don't like the volume, but again, it's on CoinX, so I'm probably not getting an accurate reading. Top to bottom, resistance at the 1886. Okay, just real quick, 1618, tipped it, perfect. Okay, fell just short of the 1618. You hit that 1414, double topped it though, and a little tip off the 1272. You probably come down in the immediate term, as in like today or throughout this week, even making your way down to about $1.20. You're at $1.44. Just based off this look, you probably move down there. Yeah, I think you do. Yeah, I think you go to that 886 right there, man. Beautiful. Right to literally, I would bet you to a T. Go right to that line, right, and then you bounce. If you go lower, it won't be by much. It'll be somewhere in this area between about $1.24 to $1.16. But watch you bounce right off that 886, right off $1.30, going right down there. I bet that happens. It could happen today. It could happen later this week. Who knows how long? It could happen methodically. It could be a quick little spike down. But once you've seen that, it might not be off to the races immediately. Maybe it is, but one way or another, it's probably done going down, and then you will resume going up. You'll resume going up, yeah. Because I think this thing does. Again, I think it does want to go up to, what was it? $5 at a minimum. $4 at a minimum to $7. Yeah, somewhere in that range. I really do. What would the measure move of this be? Nope, that's okay. Well, I want to leave that on there actually. Something like that. Okay, that'd be at your 1886, which you could see. I mean, maybe you go all the way up to $12, man. Who knows? But higher, I definitely think if you go lower, and you probably do go lower from here in like a very immediate term, but like week to week, you're probably going to go up higher, is what I would think. So that's CRU, that's crust. Moving on to BLZ, and then we've got two more. We're on the final three here, ladies and gentlemen. BLZ, Blue Zell. Love this thing, man. I really do. I really do. I want it to go lower so I can buy more. I do. And I hold a decent bit right now, man, but I would see that take a haircut, 50% haircut. Give it to me so I can buy more of this. I think this thing is definitely interesting, and it's one to watch. You know, I always go to the Coinbase chart, but the Binance chart has all the history. Maybe we should use, I know I was just talking about all the history, but maybe we'll use the USDT chart, because this does have the all-time high at least. Or it's not the all-time high, it's the previous cycle high. But let's see. Broke above the 618, found support on it. I mean, your next stop, man, and this is on the weekly, so it's going to take time, right? $1.40 to $3.70. Here you are at 35 cents right now. It is what it is. That's what the fibs show. That's what it looks like to me. RSI on the weekly is very strong. Daily RSI looks pretty strong as well. Like, yes, you're funneling down here, but really you're in this like uptrend in your daily. I bet you're getting ready to move up right now. You broke out a little bit, you're consolidating, you're going to continue to go up higher, probably to this 886 at about 49 cents very soon. And I say there, but again, if I said you went to the 786 here at 36.7 cents, I would have been right? Like that's right. I'm not saying I said that. I'm just saying if I did that, I would have been right. But where did it actually go? For its like top, it went to 39.5. So 36.7, 39.5. That is somewhat of a significant. That's like almost 10%. Maybe not quite. Let's see, actually. That would be 7% of a difference, you know. So whenever I say that it's going to, the price being going to 48.67 cents, and I do think it's going to go there very soon, like very, very soon, probably by the end of December. If it's not there by the end of December, I would say that it's on its way there. We've broken out of this consolidation phase. We'll be in between these areas. But when I say it's going here, it's probably going to go a little bit higher, probably. I doubt it goes a little bit lower. I would bet it at least hits this line, but likely breaks it a little bit. But I doubt we break too much above it. We probably do consolidate or even maybe move back to the 786 and then move up. But all in all, I think Blue Zell once more, man. I think it's like on a week-to-week, nonstop, month-to-month mission to $1.42 to $3.70, and I think that this zone can be achieved before the halving. And if it's not before the halving, maybe, you know, sometime before June still. I think that this thing, you know, it can move up without Bitcoin moving up. It's one of the few altcoins that kind of does its own thing. If Bitcoin crashes, it can crash harder for sure, but it's not always a bad thing just because Bitcoin's not moving up. And I do think Bitcoin will be stagnant around the burn. That doesn't mean that this thing's going to get held back at all. It could, but it's moved up enough times without Bitcoin's help. So 4 hours, very neutral. Daily looks somewhat good, I would say, honestly, like kind of cooled off, ready to spring higher. The price is rather neutral right now, but you moved up, right? You're very resilient to going down, and you look like you're consolidating here, ready to break out. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you do get some kind of flush out back down. And if I am wrong, I'm going to be happier, actually, because I would like to buy this thing at cheaper prices. But that's all I got for Blue Zell, man. I think it's going up higher. I really do. I think it's on its way to that 1272 or the 22. Oh, right. Sorry. What was it? Was it here? Was it all the way to this top? Top to bottom? Yeah, it was. Okay. All the way up to $1.41 to $3.70. Yeah. And that probably would come in. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened after the halving, though maybe this price could happen before the halving. But 2272 all-time highs, we could definitely see that by the halving. 63 cents, here we are at about 35 cents. So yeah. Anyways, that's Blue Zell. it's on a trajectory upwards, a midterm to long-term trajectory upwards, and I would even say immediate and short-term as well. All terms look good, man. RLC, USD. And I want to be clear too, as I've defined these terms, right? Short-term, immediate term, mid-term, long-term, like anything like that. That's how I define it. That's not how everybody defines it. That's not like a rule book, right? I think that's just like any language. We all understand what words mean, but we kind of mean words differently sometimes. Like sometimes you have to get to know somebody to actually understand what they're saying, because they might say phrases or words that are different than how you interpret them, if that makes sense. So I'm just saying, just because I say immediate term means it's happening right now, my immediate term could be someone else's short term, you know. When they say it's the immediate term, it's immediately going to happen, they could mean within 2 months or 4 months or something like that. When they say short term, maybe they mean what I mean when I say immediate term. So don't take it to the bank is what I'm trying to say. What I classify is that's just how I talk. I'm just kind of defining how I speak, not defining how anybody else speaks, if that makes sense. But RLC here, let's look at this here. Nice RSI, decent price. I don't like the volume, but that's okay, probably. Maybe not, but who cares? Yeah, whatever. Volume's fine. Back to Coinbase. Is this actually the right chart to use? No, it is not. Let's see. Okay, so maybe Binance is. Wow, this thing's old school, man. I've never heard of this. RLC, I've never heard of you. I've been in crypto for a while, man. Nope, we're not going to use that. What about USDT? Okay, we're going to use the regular Binance one. All right, USD. Anyways, yeah, man. I don't know how I haven't heard of this, but anyways, it's kind of sideways moving, isn't it? Let's look at what this thing is. Kind of an irrelevant market cap, huh? Makes sense why one might not hear of it. Market cap, logarithmic, rather neutral, yeah. It's pretty diluted, and it looks the same. So, yeah, it probably goes up from here, but I wouldn't expect crazy things from this in the bull market, right? You'd be lucky at this point to get a 10x from here throughout the whole course of this bull market. If you do get more than that, if you do break all-time highs, you could see this thing go to $42. I mean, that kind of market cap is achievable. Even the 1618 would be achievable, but I don't know. Higher lows, you've got that going for you. And I do think this is going to be an OG coin market, man. If this thing's been working silently in the woodworks and it's got something to provide for the people, like some good news, some like new tech or some just like immediate interest, like this could do really well, but I don't know enough about it to make those decisions. You're grinding this green line area, you'll probably get a nice pop when you break it, right? Just like here, let's say like you didn't really respect it, but you were kind of grinding this area, and then when you broke down, like officially, you got a very big move down. I don't know if it'll be a move like that to the upside. It could be. You're at $1.72 now. Maybe you move all the way up to $1 or $3.60 in a very short amount of time. And I bet you do. You probably do move up in a very short amount of time when it happens. Maybe when I say it like a short amount of time, I mean not that it's going to break out in a week or two. It could, but just when it does break out, the move itself is going to happen fast. Is what I'm trying to say. So here you are, above your 618. You're above your 618. You probably will move to about $3 to maybe even $4.20, man, in a very short amount of time when it happens. You could move down first. You absolutely could move down to about $1.30. Here you are at $1.72. You absolutely could, but you don't have to. You don't have to. The daily looks nice. The weekly looks nice. I'm a fan of the 4 hour. It all looks good to me, man. And this is kind of like an ascending structure with the flat base on the top there. Like, you look like you want to pop. You look like you want to break out. So, and again, pairing that with the screen line, I think when you break, you're gonna make a move. You're gonna basically beeline it straight to your extensions. Your like immediate extensions, which would be at $3 to $4.20 essentially. Is that the right one? Yeah. So yeah. That's this thing, man. If it goes down, not by much, probably, and it's getting ready to break out. It could happen tomorrow. It could happen 3 weeks from now. I don't know when, but when it does break out, it's gonna do stuff like this, right? It might not be a totally straight line. You might have like a lagged week or like an up and down kind of volatile week, but you're gonna go up pretty fast because it looks like that's how this thing likes to move. It's pretty fast. So yeah, that's RCL. Or RLC, sorry, RLC. Finishing this up, last but not least, maybe it's least. We haven't done analysis on it. Who knows? Shiba Inu. Coinbase. Yeah, we'll use Coinbase. Decent RSI. I do like the RSI. I like the bottoming pattern. I think I've said that the last couple times I've talked about it. Daily RSI looks decent too. Yeah, I think you want to go up higher, man. If I was looking to buy this thing, I would take right now this 3.5% drop as a blessing because it's probably getting ready to move up higher. This reminds me of one that we were talking about a second ago even. Yeah, you look like you're in this upward channel still. It's like almost like you're breaking out of it here, but there's no volume, there's no like follow through or dramatic. Like, I don't think so, man. I really don't think so at all. I think you're building. I think what you're doing is you're building. What do I know? You know, but you went below it here and you were fine. You know, you're below it here, but you probably, this is probably a good area to buy, but not financial advice. Yeah. I don't know. I like the structure of it overall. I feel like you're getting ready to break out. A lot of these coins look like they want to burst to the upside. Yeah, man. I think it's a green light until you're at about 4 zeros, 1313, 4 zeros, 1581. Shiba, nice and easy, man. Looks good. Looks like it wants to go up. If it goes down, probably not by much, man. And this is probably going to happen in a short amount of time, if not an immediate amount of time as well. Like, this could happen by the end of this week. You could see it up here. Maybe by the end of January. You know, who knows? But somewhat in a short amount of time, I think you're going to see this kind of area come into play. So that's it, man. That's everything. If I had to have a winner, I had to give one a winner. MINA looked good. Blue Zell looks good. That RLC looked like it wanted to move up more or less in like the immediate term too. I want to say Blue Zell just because I like Blue Zell. Maybe that's like my bias. But I think Blue Zell might move up the most in the shortest amount of time from this video. That's kind of my justification into that. So that's probably why. Yeah. Anyways, I think RLC, SHIB, Blue Zell, VAI, MINA, those ones all looked like they. I think there was one more that looked like it wanted to do good, but I can't remember, man. It's been so many videos. So, anyways, that's all I got for you guys. If you like the video, hit that thumbs up. Subscribe if you want to see more from me, and feel free to leave requests in the comment section. You know, it's half of what we do here. So, take care. Have a good night. Bye bye. Adios.